I have been playing Honkai Star Rail for 1 year. And here's everything you need to know in how to manage your account more efficiently. Hey everyone, it's Spade. I'm on stage joined by my two lovely friends, Melancholy and Lady. And today we're gonna be talking about our own experiences from playing. I'm just playing with y'all, man. I'm just playing.
Gonna keep going?
But I'm going to be talking about things that I have learned from my own experiences and mistakes, and other things that I have learned from other content creators that I didn't realize in how to manage your account more efficiently. Now, I'll keep in mind the people who just started rolling in, the new players, and those who have been kicking it around for a while. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Before we jump into anything, I think it is fair for all of you to have a peek at my account and, just take a look at my characters, how well I've been managing it, my resources, and, whether I bricked it or not. So let's take a look. Now, it is important for all of you to know about the niches, the playstyles that I'm into, because that is a very important part into building your account. What I enjoy playing is follow-up attacks and DOTs. I'm not a big fan of hypercarry meta. It's just not for me. I don't like the idea of slapping the power buff girls in one team and buffing the hell out of a character. But, that's just me. Now, there are some exemptions. I do have characters that are hyper carries, and those are Acheron and Dunhung. Now, the reason why I pulled for them is just because I genuinely love the characters. I love their design. I love how their playstyle works. I love, maybe not Dunhung, but I just love, how they were in the story. Now, let's get into my characters here. As far as I know, I have 19 level 80 characters. And here are their traces. So, for example, like my DPSs, my characters that I just love and enjoy playing, I max out every single one. As you can see here with my Acheron, with my Black Swan, Kafka, and my very first main, Jingyuan, the General. But when it comes to support units like Fu Xuan, I just max out everything that is necessary. I only left her ultimate at level 8 because the general consensus into building characters is to leave the traces at just 888 and you're good to go, right? Same thing for Ron Mei. Everything is maxed out except for basic attack. So yeah, now let's take a look at my inventory. Here are my upgrade materials. Now, when it comes to EXPs like Traveler's Guide, Refined Ethers, Lost Crystals, I don't really find myself coming to any problems. Maybe Lost Gold Fragments like time to time, but other than that, no issues here. Now, these are just, upgrade materials for your characters and light cones. Now, this one, the cherished balls. Man, I see a lot of people lacking the balls. They're tracks of destiny. But I think for my account, me personally, I think it's just me not building every single character I get. And, there are some characters, don't get me wrong, that I wish I could level them up, because I love how they interacted with us in the story. I love the personalities. But unfortunately, they're not that high on my priority list. And, maybe in the future when I come around, I have the time, I'll build them up. I'll build them up for fun, man. So hopefully in the future. These are just boss materials. Now, these materials, you shouldn't be running out of them, especially later on in the game, because they come around frequently. So moving on to my light cones, a lot of them are actually level 80. There are some that are level 70, but this is one specific light cone. This one, I can't be bothered to level it up because as far as I'm concerned, the most important part of this light cone is the bonus passive right here. I find Bronya just tanking everything, so I save myself some time, save myself some resources. I don't level this up anymore. Now, when it comes to relics, I won't get into detail right now in this video. Maybe in the future when I get into a more in-depth review of my account, but for now, let's just let it be. These are all whatever. These are also all whatever. But when it comes to self-modeling resin, I'll talk about it later on in a video. And now let's take a look at what characters you should be pulling.
The silk is too fragile to be a threat. Unless you're more fragile than the silk. Case in point.
Before we get into anything, the game does actually give you some free characters. Now, the first one is the character that you chose, the Trailblazer, whether it was Kalis or Estelle. They also give you March 7th and Dan Hung and Natasha just by completing the story quests. They give you Asta in your first ever pull. They also give you Serval in the mail. They give you Herda through just completing the first simulated universe world, I believe. They also give you Qingxue in the Memory of Chaos. They give you Yukong and Lynx in the Forgotten Halls. They also give you Sushang in one of the permanent events. And they give you Dr. Ratio for free. He's only for free until the end of 2.1. So if you want to start and you want to get him, now's the time. Now, sometimes the game does release events that give you a free character selection. Now, unfortunately, I cannot show you the characters here because I already picked Gallagher so that I could E6 him. But when these events happen, it is important for you to pick out the character that has a higher value to your account compared to the rest, depending on the kinds of niches that you are focusing on. It is very important for newer players to find a niche, to search for a playstyle that they are interested in and that they want to invest in. Because if you're building up so many different characters that just don't synergize with each other, it's going to be very difficult for you to progress later on. And if you do that, eventually you're going to hit a brick wall and now you're officially bricked. Pause, man. But in all seriousness, the game does not ask of you to build another team until Memory level 11 of Forgotten Hall. And then from there on to Memory of Chaos, that's when you're starting 2 teams and you have to focus on a different playstyle, different niche. Or maybe even just the same one, just different characters. Now, I'm going to throw out some niches, for example, like DUTs, follow-up attacks. You also have hyper carries, maybe even mono quantum if you can. But you shouldn't just be focusing on the characters that are actually doing the damage. You also have to focus on their supports. It's what makes these playstyles be enabled to do a much better job. For example, like Bron Mei, Bronya, Ting Yun, all of these are great supports. You should also be investing in your sustainers. You don't want your characters to be dropping left and right like flies. They give you March 7th, they give you Lynx, they give you Natasha for free. And these characters are very useful, especially early game. They help keep your team alive. Now, there are some characters that provide more than just sustaining. For example, Fu Xuan. Now, she is the best sustainer in the game. Not only does she reduce the damage that your team takes, she also gives you free crit rate. She gives you a field that helps you not get CC'd very often. And those are very important factors that help characters such as Jing Yuan. He wants crit rate. He wants to not be CC'd because he is very reliant on his Lightning Lord. And if he gets CC'd, his Lightning Lord stops and just doesn't exist for the rest of the turn. They even give you the Fire Trailblazer when you can turn him into a preservation unit. So they give you 4 units already for sustaining your team. However, there are some characters that are just that universal. They fit into any playstyle, so I suggest everybody should be building them regardless of the niche that they're focusing on. And I'll be naming 4. If you think there are more characters than these 4 that everybody should be building, by all means, please leave it down in the comments below. Now, the first one is Pela. Pela is an insane support. She gives defense shred on your enemies, which in return makes them receive more damage. Now, it is harder for you to get diminishing returns when you're using defense shred compared to just buffing a character. Now, speaking of buffers, Ting Yun is an insane unit for buffing. She gives you everything that your DPS wants: energy, attack, and an extra damage bonus. Now, Asta, she gives you speed and attack, and all of those are very important for dot units. So if you want to focus on DOT specifically, Asta is a great pickup, and she's free, so there you go. She's easy to obtain. Now, lastly is Lynx. Now, I know you have Natasha, but Lynx is just a better healer in general, and she also can give you cleanse. And she's also low investment, so you don't have to invest so much in her for her to do her job really well. Now, I know I did say earlier that it is very important for people to just focus on a couple of niches when building their account. But eventually there comes a point where you're just comfortably clearing all of the content in the game, whether that would be Memory of Chaos, Pure Fiction, Golden Gears, Swarm Disaster. You know, at that point, my honest advice, just pull for whoever you want, man. Like take me for example, I have Genuine, I have Kafka. Pulling for Akron doesn't really make much sense. Now I have 3 Lightning DPSs. But, you know, I just loved how she was in the story. I love her design. I love that, you know, she has like little moments where she gets lost because it reminds me of Zoro. And, you know, Zoro is one of my favorite characters in One Piece. And let's not forget the fact that she has an alternate form, you know, that she turns black, white, and red in her ultimate. So those are factors that maybe want to pull for her. You know, at the end of the day, a game is to have fun and enjoy. And if you're not having fun because of the characters that you pulled, then, you know, sometimes it is important to, you know, if you really like a character, just pull for them, man.
There's more than one destiny to choose from. The road ahead is visible.
Now let's talk about managing your resources. It is very crucial for all of you to understand how important Trailblaze power is, because it is the source of all of your resources, all of your materials. And trust me, you do not want to be wasting this. I've had a couple of days where, you know, I felt like gambling for my relics and I just didn't get anything in return for the day. So, you know, it really makes you feel bad. And, you know, you could have spent using all of that to farm for your materials. Now, farming for materials should always come before your relics, because building up characters and their traces are guaranteed upgrades compared to, you know, the RNG of farming for your relics. Especially as a new player, you shouldn't be touching caverns until you're at least TL 60, because that's when you're at least guaranteed 2 5-star relics. And the game already gives you relics through chests and completing the operation briefing. But, you know, if you really want to, then maybe when you're around TL 40, because at least you're guaranteed 1 5-star already. If you want to know when and what you should be farming for the day, I highly suggest go checking out Bernard Pangan. He has a spreadsheet and helps you understand in how to use it to your advantage. You know, he has helped me a lot in managing and not wasting my resources, especially my relics. So I highly suggest checking out his YouTube channel because, you know, he has helped me and hopefully he helps you in managing your account better. Now, speaking of not wasting resources, please just use your self-modeling resin for relics that you only care the main stat of, such as speed boots and ERR ropes for your supports, because, you know, how many times I've used this for crit bodies and, you know, I just don't get the subset and, you know, it just feels really bad. And just for the sake of this video, I'm going to use this for Acheron. I will go here and get a crit damage body. Hopefully I get crit rate, but, you know, just to prove my point. So let's go with this one, crit damage, and let's synthesize this. Okay, I did get attack percentage and speed, but, you know, I didn't get crit rate. I know a lot of people say just use these for when you're missing one piece, but even if it's that one piece, sometimes it's just not worth it. So save it for like speed boots and energy regeneration rate ropes for your supports.
Account has been frozen. This is last month's bill.
That's all. Chump change. Over to you, Asta.
See here, Miss Asta?
And finally, let's talk about spending management. You know, if you're a whale, this part of the video ain't for you, man. It ain't for you. I wish I could be a whale. Anyway, here's a scenario. If you really want a character and you don't have the jades at the moment and there's still time left on the banner, get as much as you can through what the game already gives you. Just, you know, be patient and grind it out first. Your conscience will feel better knowing you saved yourself some cash. If you didn't get the character by that time, then, you know, go ahead, swipe that card, man. It is also important to understand the value that you're getting with each purchase. You know, if you plan on spending a little, I highly suggest just spending on the Express Supply Pass and the Battle Pass. You can get up to 3,000 Stellar Jade for about $5. It is much better than spending the same price in the Aneric pouch for something that just costs as much, but you're only getting from 300 to 600 jades. With the express supply pass, you just gotta be patient, man. The battle pass is about $8 to $9, and not only does it give you 680 stellar jades and passes, it also gives you a ton of resources from just playing the game. It saves you from having to use Trailblaze power for EXP items such as the Traveler's Guide and such. At the end of the day, this is a free game, and you should be spending your money wisely. Only spend money if you think you're gonna be as happy as you were before you swipe that card. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video is able to help you understand in managing your account more efficiently through the many means that I just discussed. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification button to stay tuned for more videos. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one.